Call the roll, please.
Ms. Shakarian,
Here.
Mr. Corrigan,
Here.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Here.
Mr. Parker,
Here.
and Ms. Fryer.
Here.
Is the recording in progress?
Yes.
I think there was a problem a couple minutes ago.
No, it is now working, and there just did seem to be an echo, but I think that's gone. Okay, all right, we good.
Our first order of business is approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting of 10/19/2023. If there's no omissions or additions, I move for adoption.
Ms. Shakarian. Mr. Corrigan.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Fryer,
Yes.
and Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Well, we are not going to go into the president's report. There's been a lot going on just all over, and I know the board's been very active in trying to do that, but I'm just going to highlight one of my favorite times of the year. We had a Dia de los Muertos parade that CPL participated in, and it was held in Border Square. I was there, Alice was there, and CPL passed out. I think I could be wrong, but I'm sure Marino will fix me. It was like over $500.
Mhm.
And a lot of them were bilingual, and the neighborhood, they were so receptive. The director was there as well. Sorry about
No,
that.
no, it was a great parade.
Yeah.
It was just fun, and we gave out more books than we did candy, which
Yeah.
is impossible with the kids there, which is crazy. So
We had a lot of candy left over while we were done doing the parade, but the parade also seems to be getting larger every year. So I had a great time. I always go there with my family members. They were there. So I just said that was awesome.
yeah, Susie was there.
Susie.
She was like, she had some costume on that nobody could see her, so no one knows she was there, but Susie was there.
And a lot of the others, there was many other staff members there
Yeah.
that I just can't remember them all. Alice brought her girlfriend from Shaker Heights, and her granddaughter was here. And yeah, it was just a nice family affair. So I want to thank everyone who put a lot of effort and time into that. But earlier that morning, I was also here for something else, but I will let the director talk about that one.
Yeah, so we had our freeze flash mob for reading. It was a part of the Cleveland Reads program, and it was great. We had over 200 folks to do that. A lot of them were volunteers that came from Phi Eta Sigma, who was a group of folks that did who are part of a national freshman college honor society. They were in town for a conference, and they, wanted to do something that they could give an effort for while they were in town, and they joined us and being a part of it, and it was just a great event. Got all of the splash and and some publicity around it, and pushed forward our Cleveland Reads program till December 2nd. So we got everybody involved and ready for our celebration. So
it was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. It was actually really kind of cool to everybody just froze and read for 10 minutes. And at 9:58 it started raining. So it was perfect timing.
So thank you. Do you want to continue, Director, or are you good?
Yeah, I'm gonna go on with the director's report, unless you want to go through everything else.
No, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to jump into the director's report. I think we might need maybe a few more chairs. If someone might want to grab a few chairs from the outside. I think there should be enough chairs from the outside to do it, kind of grab some. So we want to start, every board meeting with the director's report with the kind of a scorecard of where we are with the strategic plan. And I think they're going to bring it up here, and there it is, and measuring our progress. And if you guys can just go through a few slides here. This is still a work in progress. This will be officially brought to you in January. So what we're going to ask committee, or Tana, it's your baby. So if you want to ask the committee to do what you want to ask the committee to do.
You Director, good morning or afternoon. I don't remember what time it is. As the director said, we want to bring to you our scorecards each month. But at the last board meeting, we talked to you about diving a little bit deeper into one of the areas. So what I would like to be able, what I'd like to propose is for the strategic planning committee of the board to make a recommendation to the broader board of a schedule of what would be covered. So out of the 4 priority areas, which do they want the board to dive into first? And then within each one of those priority areas, which are the initiatives that you guys want to take a look at? And we'll start that in January of 2024. Is that amenable?
Sounds
That
good.
sounds like a good plan.
All right,
Thank you.
so that's that. And now I would actually, one thing that we'd also like you to do, because the board had said, we want to get a chance to have a little bit of introduction to some of the departments and who their staff is. So today is technology, and John Malcolm is here to introduce his team, who now I think are fully staffed. There's John Malcolm hiding. All right, come on.
Nice hat, John.
Then some people take the mic and start walking around with it like they're at church, but.
Send it DNA, sorry. Singapore.
Yeah.
Director. It's been January 2022. I started here at CPL. We had no direct staffing for our many staff, our patrons in the CPL enterprise, specifically geared towards technology and supporting them and advancing our technology footprint. But I am here on, thanks to you all, to say that we have a full stack team now. And I'm going to introduce them. We have starting Jeremy. I'm just going to hit the names real quick. Tim, Joe, Tristan, Jungu.
Hey, yeah, well, hold on. Like, that's awfully fast. You can actually start. Go ahead. You start. Jeremy, stand up.
Jeremy,
There you go, Jeremy.
Tim,
Joe,
Tristan,
Jungu, El, Danya. Thank you. Andrew, L'Oreal, Terrence. And I didn't say your name. I'm gonna get to him, but this is the core of our team. They support everything from, hold on, I'm gonna save you too. They support everything from our help desk, meaning help desk tickets. People can't log on, forgot passwords, can't print, can't do this, can't do that. To our creative tech unit, who this team is designed to help us automate the library. They'll be building and have been building our technology, taking a lot of this paper that you have before you, automating it, supporting our business processes that we will be automating. Our innovations, we need to be a leader in this country in innovating and being an innovative library. That's part of this whole group. They're codependent, and I've really built this team as such, so they can learn from each other and we can take ideas from each other. I'm proud to say that L'Oreal and Terrence and Tristan and Melissa are from the library world itself. They were here and they've become some great technicians and IT professionals, and the sky's the limit for all of them in this whole group as being the best team and department in CPL.
Wow.
One of the key things that I would like to highlight is our push for continual education. And that is really important. It's important to me, and I'm glad that this team has adopted that understanding. IT, we change every month, every 6 months, every year. You can't do a 5-year IT plan. You have a 1 year to execute it and get it done, because a year from now, certain things will be changed, and we really have to push that forward. They have been dedicated. Mostly everyone on here has at least 1 or 2 new certifications in technology level that they've chose. And that certification is to help us help you and help our library system to be the best that it can be. And Melissa, who's one of our CTEs, is our most recent certification is the PL 100 in Microsoft Power Platforms. And this is automating and creating software applications. Today, this morning. And I couldn't do this without the best senior director in the library, Tony Long. Number one. And yes, this is a little push. Tony has, he's just been a great person to be able to work with, a colleague in technology that I can bounce things off of, and he can bounce things off of me. So I want to give him a special recognition also. And our Tech Central team, who is not here because we have too many of them, is led by Susie. And everyone knows Susie. I don't have to introduce her, but I can tell you Susie has stepped it up, at least from my standpoint, when I first came here, to how she's reinventing and reorganizing our Tech Central team. One of the big things we have lately is the weather stations that have been put in place in seven of our libraries. Before, the city of Cleveland didn't have weather stations around here. Weather stations are important to get that data and information, our air quality, what it could be raining on this side of town and snowing on the other side. So that's a big push. We're also going to have our lake cam that's going to be put on this building also. Hopefully the news medias will pick that up and start showing CPL from the lake when they're showing these cam views.
Beautiful.
But
I think these
What
are the kind
is-
of things that are so special because of the integration of programming with library services with
Yep.
your tech team. And like, I just see Tristan, for instance, had so many great.
Are you missing somebody?
did I miss?
Hello.
Allison Collins is
Tech Central.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's okay.
Yeah,
Hello.
but our Tech Central team, you know, is focused on our makerspace and serving the direct patron base, supporting their IT and technology needs. We've expanded that area, and you know, I look at it like this: if they have it anywhere else in this country, we should have it here first, and that's part of our striving to be the best and most innovative library through this department as we can be.
All right, so I know you get a lot of pushback for being the best department in the library, but John Malcolm and CPL received the Tech Team of the Year Award from the Greater Cleveland Partnership. That
Again, that's important to understand because those are through partnerships. We work with Cleveland Municipal School District. That was a big project in putting CPL library cards on the actual CMSD students ID. We work with CleveNet to bring this to life. And it is so look forward to our students keep those IDs throughout the summer. We're actually running a daily update. So that information as our students go in and out of our various schools is being updated. So we're planning on doing a lot more with some other our community partners who I won't name yet, but we all know who they are. And I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be an exciting year for us.
Thank you.
all right.
Hey,
Thank
John.
you.
John.
Yeah, oh, no, I just a few more things under the director's report, and I'll be quick about them.
Yep, I know. I'm gonna acknowledge that in 1 second. I
Oh.
just, before the director continues on with his, the director's report, I want to acknowledge that trustee John Hairston is joining us virtually. And trustee Butts is unavailable today, so we could just address it. Thank you.
Yep, okay, just quick, I wanted to say that the archives exhibit has now reached over 40,000 people to see that through October, which is great. That's the most we've ever had at any one of our exhibits, and we still have 8 months to go on it. So we're looking for some great numbers as that is going. Thanks to Trustee Rodriguez, Karen, and Butts for being there at the we didn't even mention the Eastman campus
Yeah,
and the open of the Eastman. We had so much stuff going on. John Lang last night, winner of the 2023 class of Northeast Ohio Fire Award. We get because John is so quiet and humble about himself. So we all started screaming when he got the award. And all the people were like, that's not the librarians making all that noise. And of course, you know, Carrie and her team for winning the Auditor of State Award with distinction for 10 years in a row. And finally, myself and Trustee Corrigan attended the ULC conference in Seattle, which was a really, really good conference. And I just wanted Trustee Corrigan to say a few words.
Sure. As one of the major urban libraries in the country, our participation in Urban Libraries Council has been pretty important over time. And it's recognized when we get there. Everybody in the place knew Felton. And the last time I was at one, everybody there knew Andy Venable. And the reality is that we're really, we help set the standards for what an urban library can be. One of the fun parts about being in Seattle is that the director of the Seattle Public Library started as a page in the Las Vegas branch next to somebody. And one of the cool things I found out, I thought that the director's fascination with hats was connected to wearing Ohio State or Cleveland Guardians or Cleveland Browns, but no, he was wearing a hat at 15 years of age in the Las Vegas library. And the director of the Seattle Public Library, Tom Fay, right, basically said, no, I don't think we could count the number of different baseball caps that he's worn over the years.
Wow.
So that was a little interesting archive fact that I was glad to have. The focus of the conference was very much on people, power, and place. But one of the real overriding things was what AI is doing to our world and to libraries and all those things that matter about that, from privacy on one side to how do we be more effective in teaching people to read. Among the people who were very actively involved was the head of the whole education part of Microsoft. And I spent about 20 minutes extra with her after a pretty good presentation, talking about, at this point in 100 languages, they are working on AI tutor assistance programming to help tutors help people learn to read. As you know, helping somebody learn to read is as unique as each person, as each reader is. And part of the problem is that causes frustration on the person trying to teach reading and assist, particularly an adult reader whose original language was not English. And it was pretty significant to hear what she was talking about that Microsoft is working on, and to hear Urban Libraries Council and ALA people who are trying to make that more real. And so I made a good connection with her, and I think we're going to get a chance maybe to be a pilot on some of this stuff. So it's pretty cool. But generally speaking, one of the things that I'm going to recommend to the rest of the board, it is good for every member of this board to get to one of these sort of national groups one time or another, just because first it gives you an appreciation of what responsibility we have as a leading library. But secondly, to sort of get the comfort level of how many other people are facing the same challenges, to hear how much homelessness affects the bathrooms in a public institution like a library, and to hear what COVID's done to the students who use the library in terms of how it interrupted so much of their academic careers and those sort of things. So I really do want to encourage the rest of the board to get a chance. I've not been to a ULC meeting probably, as I said, in probably 11 or 12 years, but both the Ohio Library Council stuff, the ALA stuff, Urban Libraries Council, the Public Library Association, there's opportunities and they want us. We have the experience, we have the responsibilities. They'd like us to be at those things. So I encourage that very much.
Yeah, thank you, trustee Corrigan, for joining us. That was very helpful.
Thank you. At this time, because there was no quorum at the Joint Finance and Human Resource Committee meeting on Tuesday, November 14th, I move to temporarily suspend the regulations of the Board of Trustees in Article 9 and 10, requiring a referral of resolutions to committees to consider the following resolutions.
Second,
Mr. Carrigan,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan,
yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Bryant.
Yeah.
And Mr. Parker.
Yeah.
And there are no communications today, so we're gonna go ahead and move into the Finance Committee report. Trustee Corrigan, please.
Yes, I'm gonna try to move pretty quickly because there's a lot of them and because we did have a pretty good information session on Tuesday. Exhibit 1 is a resolution to accept the gifts for the month of October. Resolved that the gifts described in the gift report for October 2023 be accepted upon the conditions connected with said gifts in accordance with section 3375.40K of the Ohio Revised Code. So moved.
Second. Mr. Carrigan,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Bryant,
Yes.
and Mr. Parker. Yes.
Exhibit 2 is a resolution to request the requesting tax advance, whereas Ohio Revised Code 32134 authorizes the board to request the county fiscal officer to advance tax funds to the Cleveland Public Library prior to regular settlement dates in order for the library to meet current expenses. Be it resolved that the Board of Library Trustees requests that the Cuyahoga County fiscal officer advance any tax funds that may be made available to the library prior to the regular settlement dates during fiscal 2024. So moved.
Second. Mr. Carrigan,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Bryant,
Yes.
and Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Exhibit 3 is the resolution to accept Tech Cred Program grant from the Ohio Department of Development. Whereas the Ohio Department of Development Tech Cred Program allows employees to invest in their employees by providing grants on a reimbursement basis to cover costs associated with obtaining certain technology focus and industry recognized credentials. Whereas the library applied to participate in the Tech Cred program was approved for employees to receive credentials and Microsoft 365 certified modern desktop administrator associate, Palo Alto Networks Firewall 10.0 Essentials Configuration and Management, and 3 VMware vSphere configuration, Palo Alto Networks Firewall 10.0 troubleshooting.
Every time I get ready to
Now
call,
therefore be it
all
resolved
I get is
that the
vibrations.
Cleveland Public Library Board of Trustees pursuant to the authority set forth in RC
I got out of here.
3375.40
When I
hereby
call,
accepts the grant from the Ohio Department of Development in an amount up to
Tell them I-
28,000. Be deposited in Cleveland Special Revenue Fund account 331042-42200 state aid on a reimbursement basis following successful completion by selected library staff of the above described credentials, and authorizes the executive director, CEO, or his designee to execute such instruments or agreements as are necessary to effectuate the terms of the grant, which agreement shall be subject to the approval of the Director of Legal Affairs. So moved.
Second.
Mr. Carrigan,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Bryant,
Yeah.
and Mr. Parker.
Yes.
And of course, obviously, that's, I don't know whether that would have funded the most recent credit, but generally speaking, this is a great statewide program that we're making sure we participate and take advantage of.
Yes.
Exhibit 4 is a resolution to accept pass-through grant from AT&T through the Cleveland Public Library Foundation. Whereas seniors have been a traditional library audience and the library believes reaches beyond the walls of its building to engage senior citizens who have mobility and transportation issues by providing homebound services and to provide a safe, comfortable, and inviting setting in which older members of the community are treated with courtesy and respect. Be resolved that as a longstanding partner, AT&T believes in this work and awarded the Cleveland Public Library Foundation a grant of $15,000 from AT&T to support digital literacy efforts for senior audiences. Be it resolved that the Cleveland Public Library Board, pursuant to the authority set forth in RC 3375.40K, hereby accepts this grant from AT&T as a pass-through from the Cleveland Public Library Foundation in the amount of $15,000 to be deposited into the Founders Fund account 203046-46 100-26801 restricted gifts, and be it further resolved that the executive director is authorized to enter into and execute such agreements and instruments as may be necessary or appropriate to effectuate the terms and conditions of this resolution, which agreements and instruments shall be subject to the approval of the library's Director of Legal Affairs. So moved.
Second.
I just want to commend the foundation staff and the library staff who help keep these grants coming, and AT&T has been a good partner in the past, and it's great to have this as well. And as we all know, the digital divide isn't just a economic issue, it's also a senior citizen issue. And so this is an important grant for that problem.
Ms. Shakarian.
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Fryer.
Yeah.
And Mr. Parker. Yes.
Exhibit 5 is a resolution to, hold on a second. Purchase computer hardware from MNJ Technologies Direct Incorporated, whereas providing the public with equal access to a vast range of information and resources is one of the library's guiding principles, and innovating for efficient, sustainable operations is a strategic priority. Whereas for the public to have equal access to information and resources, PC workstations must be replaced and upgraded in a timely manner. Whereas in order for the operations library to perform efficiently using the current operating system and to avoid security issues and vulnerabilities, staff workstations also have to be replaced and upgraded in a timely manner. And whereas IT CleveNet department saw proposals from 3 vendors and received the following: for 80 all-in-one computers, 32 monitors, and 36 touchscreen notebooks. From MNJ Technologies, $168,000, CWG, $194,000, and SHI International, $205,000. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Trustees authorizes the executive director as designated to purchase 80 HP Elite One 840 G9 all-in-one computers at a cost of $1,402 each, for a total of $112,160. 32 HP E24 G5 Full HD LCD monitors at a cost of $178 each, for a total cost of $5,696. And 36 HP EliteBook 860 G10 touchscreen notebooks at a cost of $1,410 each, for a total cost of $50,760, for a grand total purchase price not to exceed $168,616 from MNJ Technologies Direct Incorporated, with the expenditure being charged to the general fund account 130100055-55530 computer hardware. They were the low bidders, as I read. So moved.
Second.
I might point out too that I did not realize MNJ is a woman. It's a diversity-based business, MBE, so, and FBE. So moved.
Ms. Shakarian.
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Fryer.
Yes.
And Mr. Parker. Yes.
Exhibit 6 is a resolution authorizing the contract with Medical Mutual Ohio for employee health care benefits. Whereas the Cleveland Public Library has purchased employee health insurance from Medical Mutual Ohio since October 2012, and whereas the current contract runs through December 31st, 2023, and whereas Medical Mutual's renewal premium from January 1, 24 through December 31, 24 is 14 9/10% higher than the premium paid by the library for 2023 calendar year. And whereas the library is able to go 3 years without an increase in the medical benefit rates, and it had only a 2% increase last year. Whereas the library will be keeping the employees' percentage costs the same as in prior years, and finds this increase to be reasonable within market conditions. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the board hereby authorizes the executive director, CEO, or his designee to enter into an agreement with Medical Mutual Ohio for employee health insurance benefits for a 12-month term from January 1, 2024 to December 31st, 2024, at the rates reflected in the attached proposal, which agreement shall be subject to the review and approval of the Director of Legal Affairs. So moved.
Second.
I would point out that obviously a 14.9% increase is a big one, but I have 3 clients that all saw greater than 20% increases, and Medical Mutual cares about the continuing business with us, and we care about making sure one of the best health plans is available to our employees. So this is more than in order.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes,
Ms. Pryor,
Yes.
and Mr. Barker.
Yes.
Exhibit 7 is a resolution to amend agreement with Voya Employee Benefits Company for life insurance, accidental death and disability insurance policies. And whereas on November 17th, 2022, the board approved a renewal agreement with Voya Employee Benefits to provide life insurance and accidental death and dismemberment insurance to full-time employees with at least 1 year of employment with the Cleveland Public Library. Whereas Voya has proposed to the current rate of 1,222 mils per thousand for basic life insurance will increase to a new rate of 110. So it's a reduction. It's a decrease to a new rate. Whereas Voya has proposed that the current rate will decrease to a new for the AD&D will decrease to a new rate of 14 or 1 4/10 cents per thousand. Whereas Voya has proposed to change to the supplemental employee and spouse life and AD&D insurance reduction schedule such that benefits will change to 65% at age 70, 45% at age 75, and that there'll be no reductions to employee benefits prior to age 70. Whereas the amount of coverage for basic life and AD&D insurance will remain the same as the current contract term at an amount of $50,000. Whereas the library administration would like to amend the current agreement with Voya to reflect the new rates and the reduction schedule for life and AD&D insurance for its employees for the new contract term effective January 1, 2024. Therefore, be it resolved that the board authorizes the executive director, CEO, or his designee to amend the life insurance agreement, including AD&D with Voya Employee Benefits, a division of Relied Star Life Insurance Company, subject to the Director of Legal Affairs approval to be effective January 1, 2024 through December 31, 2024, with an estimated annual premium based on the current number of employees of $25,278 for basic employee life and $3,217 for basic AD&D insurance to be charged to the life insurance object 51620. So moved.
Second.
Obviously, anytime premiums can be decreased, it's a win, and we still provide the same benefit to our employees.
Ms. Shakarian.
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
yes,
Ms. Pryor,
Yes.
and Mr. Barker.
Yes.
Exhibit A is a resolution authorizing an agreement for the replacement of the Union Branch HVAC system, Exhibit 8. Whereas the Union Branch is current without a functioning forced air HVAC system, which poses a risk to library property and patron well-being as freezing temperatures and winter weather approach. Whereas the property management department has already purchased a replacement unit in advance of necessary work to replace the HVAC system and has sought a vendor to complete the installation services, including recovery, refrigerant demolition, removal of the existing equipment, concrete pillars and steel beams to support the new system, and installation of new equipment, including the electrical, mechanical, and ductwork, startup and commissioning of the new HVAC system, and all associated permits. And whereas the library initially anticipated the above services would likely range in cost from $50,000 to $70,000, so therefore solicited quotes from vendors to complete the installation work and received the following responses from Diversified Piping and Mechanical, $84,000, T.H. Martin Incorporated, $91,000, Smith and Obie Company, $106,000, Aberdeen Mechanical and Cromwell Mechanical decided not to bid. And whereas because the cost of the HVAC system installation exceeds the statutory threshold of $75,000 of Ohio Revised Code 3375.41, which would normally require to engage in competitive bidding to award a contract for this work. Whereas under 3375.41, the library may dispense with the statutory competitive bidding requirements and award a contract directly to one or more contractors when the board determines that the installation work is necessary for the security and protection of library property. Whereas the property management partners determined that a formal public bidding process would delay the execution of the necessary HVAC installation by 1 or 2 months. Whereas the chief operating officer recommends the library enter into a contract with Diversified Piping and Mechanical an amount not to exceed $96,000, which consists $91,000, which consists of their bid of 84,550 plus an additional 7.5% or 6,450 to serve as a contingency to cover unforeseen costs that may arise during the course of installation. Now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby determines that given the risks associated with not having a functioning HVAC system during winter weather, it is necessary for the security and protection of library property of the Union Branch to dispense with the statutory competitive bidding requirements for the installation of the HVAC system at the Union Branch. And be it further resolved, the board hereby authorizes the executive director, CEO, or his designee to forego a formal bid process under 3375.41 due to the need to protect library property and to enter into an agreement with Diversified Piping and Mechanical to complete the work described above regarding the HV system at the Union Branch for a total contract price of $91,000, subject to the approval of the Director of Legal Affairs, with the expenditure being charged to the general fund account 179-20053-53310 building repairs. So moved.
Second.
And again, we're going to the low bidder, so even though it's not a formal bid.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes,
Ms. Fryer.
Yes.
And Mr. Parker. Yes.
Exhibit 9 is a resolution amending project budget for the Huff Branch, whereas the board approved total project budget for the new Huff Branch on July 6, 2021, and two subsequent amendments on May 17th, 2022, and February 16, 2023, as shown in Exhibit A to this resolution. Whereas on February 16th, 2023, the board accepted a $300,000 grant from the Bruning Foundation to design and create public spaces at the Huff, Waltz, and Woodland branches. Whereas on May 16, 2023, the board authorized the library to amend the agreement with Moody Nolan, the architects who designed the Huff Branch, to prepare construction documents and to perform construction administration services for the construction of an amphitheater rain garden at the Huff Branch. Whereas Moody Nolan completed the construction document for the amphitheater, and the library's construction manager at risk for the Huff Branch Gilbane Building Company bid the work and submitted a proposal to the library to construct the amphitheater rain garden for $299,569. Whereas the library's chief operating officer recommends that the project budget for the Huff Branch be increased by a total of $221,437.32, as shown in Exhibit A, which when combined with remaining available $96,301.28 will cover the cost of Gilbane's proposal and an additional contingency in the amount of $18,170 to cover unforeseen costs that may arise during the construction of the amphitheater. Be resolved that the board approves the amended total project budgets for the Huff Branch as set forth in Exhibit A to this resolution, which expenditures shall be charged to the bid and repair fund account 40175-205-55300-12210 construction improvements. Be it further resolved that the board authorizes the executive director, CEO, or his designee to execute such instruments and agreements as necessary to effectuate the terms of this resolution, which instruments and agreements shall be subject to the further approval of the library's director of legal affairs. Be it further resolved that the board authorizes the chief operating officer to reallocate the budget amounts as set forth in Exhibit A for the owner's contingency fund, furnitures, fixtures, and equipment, and the owner direct costs as needed, provided such reallocations shall not increase the overall budget for each individual project. So moved.
Second.
And as we talked at Tuesday, the Bruning Foundation grant goes to 3 branches, and we're basically saving a big chunk of that by amending our own project costs for the Huff Branch. And that'll leave sufficient funds for Walls and Woodland branches, in your opinion?
I don't expect it'll stretch to Walls, but you already have some plans for a public art and reinstallation at Woodland, which will be covered by the remaining grant funds after the Huff.
And Walls is still some days off.
No,
One of those,
Fine.
somewhere between days and years.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
yes,
Ms. Fryer,
Yes.
and Mr. Parker. Yes.
Exhibit 10 is a resolution authorizing amendment to the agreement with the Government Finance Officers Association for ERP Planning and Advisory Services. And whereas on November 17, 2022, the board authorized the library to enter an agreement with GFOA in the amount of $85,000 to provide for first phase advisory and planning services related to business process improvement for identifying a future enterprise resource planning system. Whereas GFOA is in the process of completing the first phase of this process, and GFOA has submitted a proposal to the library to perform the second and final phase, which shall consist of developing a request for proposals and evaluation guide, as well as assistance with system and vendor selection, contract negotiation, and project planning services necessary to ensure a smooth transition. And whereas GFOA proposes to provide the second phase of services for a total fee not to exceed $70,000, which would increase GFOA's total fee for both phases to an amount not to exceed $155,000. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes the Executive Director, CEO, or his designee to execute an amendment to the agreement with GFOA for ERP planning and advisory services to expand GFOA services as set forth in this resolution for an additional fee not to exceed $70,000, thus increasing GFOA's total compensation under the agreement to an amount not to exceed $155,000 for the expenditure being charged to the general fund account 111-000-53-53710 professional services, and which amendment shall be subject to the approval of Director of Legal Affairs. So moved.
Second.
And as we've for years worked with GFOA, and they really do help us do the professional things we do, that gave us 10 years of straight audit awards. So this is part of the system that makes that happen.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Pryor,
Yes.
and Mr. Parker. Yes.
And Exhibit 11 is a routine Ninth Amendment to the year 2023 appropriation. We do these every month, whereas the Ohio Revised Code provides for amendment of appropriation measures when necessary, or is now deemed necessary to amend the year 2023 appropriation measure to comply with the amended official certificate of estimated resources requested from the Cuyahoga County Budget Commission on November 9th, 2023. Whereas the aggregate of all appropriation classifications does not exceed the total amount submitted to the Cuyahoga County Budget Commission. Now, therefore, be resolved that the sums indicated in the attached Ninth Amendment to your 2023 appropriation schedule be approved. So moved.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Mr. Parker, Mr. Corrigan,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Pryor,
Yeah.
and Mr. Parker. Yes.
I always get you two mixed up. It's funny you did that too.
And the balance of the Finance Committee report is the Fiscal Officer's report. Report A, the report of investments, report B, the report on conference and travel expenditures, report C, report on all vendor expenditures, report D, report on expenditures made from the owner's contingency funds for the Huff, Jefferson, West Park, Woodland Central Distribution Facility, Lorraine, Eastman, MLK Jr., Brooklyn, and Rockport branches, report E, and a report on expenditures made from the owner's contingency fund for the high density shelving project, report F. With those reports, those are monthly reports, that concludes the Finance Committee.
Thank you so much, Trustee Corrigan. Right now, we're gonna move into the Human Resource Committee report. Trustee Pryor, please.
No problem. The first item is the regular employment report, which highlights 7 new hires, 4 transfers, 4 resignations, no terminations, no retirements, and 7 compensation changes, including 6 promotions last month. And the next item, Exhibit 13, is a resolution authorizing bonuses. Oh,
Sorry.
sorry. So moved.
Second, Exhibit 12.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Pryor,
Yes.
and Mr. Parker. Yes.
Perfect. The next Exhibit 13 is a resolution authorizing bonuses. Whereas throughout 2023, the library's Human Resources Department conducted a variety of recruiting events to fill vacancies across nearly all library departments, resulting in approximately 232 positions being filled since January 1st, 2023. And whereas the efforts of the Human Resources Department over the year have brought the library to the closest it has been in recent years to having a full staff
complement, and whereas the library administration understands the challenges faced by library staff over the previous year as a result of the post-pandemic labor market and the lack of a full staff complement, and whereas in recognition of the challenges faced by library staff over the past year, the library administration would like to extend the following one-time bonuses to active library employees employed as of October 31st, 2023. 1, $2,000 for all full-time employees. 2, $1,500 for all part-time regular employees, including pages whose status is part-time regular. 3, $750 for substitutes, and 4, $375 for pages and part-time non-union staff. Now therefore be it resolved that the executive director, CEO, the chief financial officer, and the chief talent officer are authorized to implement the bonuses set forth in this resolution for all active employees based on their status on the date that the bonuses are processed to be paid to staff with the December 8th, 2023 pay date. So moved.
I just want to add to that if I could, as well as the other board. Thank everyone for all the work that they've done. I know it's been tough while we've been short-staffed, and we really have been trying to get us back to where we need to be. So I think this bonus is well-deserved for all of you, but thank you for all your work.
Yes, yes.
And I would look, just to speak historically, we have done this before in my 36 years, and it's always in a situation where because of shortages in the staff complement and other issues that were confronted, we basically wanted to make sure a recognition for all the extra effort that was put in during that very difficult time. And I'm just very proud that we're able to do it. And I want to thank the voters for making it possible for us to reward our staff in this way with the last levies that they've approved. For the voters, we should say that these bonuses basically are paid for because of the lack of staff complement, so that the work that is being paid for with these bonuses is work that would have been done if we'd had the staff to do it. So in the sense of the taxpayer cost, there's no real difference, but to the benefit of the employees who put in all this extra time and made this work, I want to make sure we appreciate that and recognize that's what it is, and that it's not an aberration from what the history of this library has had regarding its concern for its employees.
Excellent.
Thank you again, staff.
And I might point out that Carrie tells me that with any luck, they'll have the checks before Christmas.
Yes.
That's kind of nice.
It'll work.
Ms. Shakarian,
An enthusiastic yes.
Mr. Gordon.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
I'm gonna stay.
So noted. Ms. Fryer.
Yes.
And Mr. Parker. Yes.
That concludes the Human Resources Committee report.
There's staff clapping all across the city.
Yeah, I'm sure people are texting the ones that are here. You are the first to know.
So people are watching. Right?
Yes. Congratulations. Thank you once again. We're now gonna move into the Community Service Committee report. Trustee Parker, please.
Yes, first we have the monthly activity report. Very always interesting to look at reading. We're going to have in this order the building status update committee, the advocacy task force, foundation update committee, and diversity, equity, inclusion. If they all just come in that order.
On the building status, the report before you is fairly routine maintenance on the property management staff. I do want to draw attention to a few things on the facilities master plan and the ongoing capital construction. Thanks to the board members who were able to participate in the MLK visit last week. And so very pleased with the progress of construction, but I do want to note that there are claims against the project on the developer side for the concrete work and pending on our side for potential delays to the library construction resulting from the failure of the apartments to enclose their building. So more details to follow. I just don't want this to come as a surprise when it's brought up in the coming months. And then to note that report E that Carrie puts together every month showing the status of the funds within the existing projects. It's hard to believe that it's already been a year for some of the group 1 projects since opening. That marks the conclusion of the construction manager's warranty period and will be de-encumbering funds from these projects. You heard how we plan to reuse off towards the investment in the amphitheater But for other projects, those funds will be returned to the library, and then we will work with the accounting team to find the investment strategy for the upcoming projects. So that's just a sneak preview of some things looking at 2024.
Can I add to this? And I'm sorry, just like I said earlier, that we have so much going on. We did take a tour of the new MLK branch and all the wonderful work that they're doing. It is coming along beautifully, I know. And I thank you for arranging that for us. And everything all the work that they're doing on this building. So, yeah, like I said earlier, there's been so much going on. We really had a good time, and I'm so excited every time I see it. So thank you, John.
Dropping stuff.
Everything. Good afternoon. So as far as the advocacy report is concerned, we're continuing to cultivate relationships with elected officials. President Thomas has a meeting with Violet Screening coming up before the holidays. So we look forward to meeting with her. We are also assessing the guidelines, preliminary guidelines that have come out about the one-time strategic community investments. And so, and also determining whether or not we have any partnerships that we can put some viable projects in front of legislators for the capital budget. So we're in the assessment phase for that. And then for the foundation update,
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to follow up from Tuesday's meeting to share a few stats. I know Stephanie shared a few as well. So the total attendance was 349 for the October 20th event fundraiser for Cleveland Reads. As far as sponsorships, pledges, and ticket sales are concerned, we raised over $130 within like 4 months. So it was like, kudos to
130,000.
130,000. I'm sorry. Couple more zeros on it. But the team did their due diligence, and we didn't have a long runway, but we did the best we could, and they did an amazing job. And next year we'll have more. We're getting those solicitations out this year for next year's event. Our silent auction raised over $2,000. In the book fund, our goal was $5,000, and we raised $5,015. And that fund is going to be a fund. Director Thomas wants that fund to be in support of Cleveland Reads, allowing us to have the flexibility to buy books, to have incentives for our readers, and we are looking at making an impact with reading scores. So more to be determined in 2.0 for Cleveland Reads.
Excellent.
Good afternoon, Board of Trustees, Director Thomas, and all those in attendance. As we look to create, cultivate, build new partnerships for the month of November, I have 3 partnerships to report on. Trans Ohio, this Monday at 12 p.m. we will have a lunch and learn where we will have guest presenters from Trans Ohio, Mina Zelch and Erica Carter. Trans Ohio serves the Ohio transgender and allied communities by providing services, education, support, and advocacy, which promotes and improves the health and safety and life experiences of Ohio transgender individuals in our community. This is a new partnership that we are currently developing. Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers, also known as CABS. This association is comprised of elders, students, mothers, fathers, librarians, artists, quilters, authors, educators, and poets who are committed to preserving Black stories through the African oral tradition. This is a continuing partnership that we're looking to expand on. On Wednesday, November 1st, I had the opportunity to visit our West Park branch under the leadership of branch manager Forrest Litkins. There I enjoyed grade school students share a bit of their own history with one another as they talked about the history of their name and how it came about. On Wednesday, December 27th, from 3 to 4:30 p.m. at MLK branch, I invite you all to attend our Kwanzaa celebration. This will be hosted by our Black ERG, where we will recognize the principle of Kujichagulia, self-determination. Again, this is a continuing partnership as well that we're looking to expand on. And finally, the Lake Erie Native American Council, which was established in 1990 to promote traditional values and increase awareness among the Native American youth in Cuyahoga County. I was formally able to meet and introduce myself to Cynthia Connolly, Marie Toledo, Nancy Kelsey, and Robbie Swift of the Lake Erie Native American Council to begin planning for a panel discussion, which was set to occur this month. However, it had to be postponed, but we intend to educate the community about cultural genocide in Native American boarding schools. So those are the 3 partnerships that I have to report to you this month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That would conclude community services.
I did have a question for Tiffany and Lynn probably too. Are we members of Plaxis?
Yes, we are.
Okay, because it helps with recruiting, I'm sure.
Yes.
What's the date of the Kwanzaa event again?
It is
27.
Tuesday, December 27th.
Oh, so it will be actually on the day. Okay.
Oh, you have a flyer in all
In
the
there.
boards in there,
Okay.
your packets.
Super.
We don't have any older new business. I have a couple of public comments. One is from Ayanna Taylor. And it was some concern about the Gale training classes. And at this time, just to answer her question, she mentioned some of the lingo that is being used in the Gale teaching for Spanish law enforcement. But at this time, I just wanted to let her know that the Cleveland Public Library does not use this training module or any of the classes from Gale in the training of our safety and protective services. We also did receive another comment from a Mr. Edward Melton. So we will have these, and if they have any other questions. His question was regarding his employment and an HR issue here, so that will be addressed in a different forum. So at this time, I move to adjourn into executive sessions for the purpose of discussing pending litigation with counsel to consider the employment and compensation of a public employee. Thank you, Anthony.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan,
Yes.
Ms. Enriquez,
Yes.
Ms. Breyer.
Yes.
And Mr. Burns.
Yes.
And for those who aren't coming back, we also will do the Library Records Commission meeting immediately following the executive
Correct,
session.
yes,
So-
we're doing it.
Time by a battle mayor Congressman George Santos.
Hello. No, yeah, I can hear you. Keep talking.
Turn the volume up a little, a bit high, we'll move you closer.
I got you.
Take your accommodations. We're good. Everybody just finished the meeting and they moved over to the room.
Man, that camera looks good, doesn't it?
It does.
Sorry, Bob. Sorry, Brian.
Board meeting back in order, and we are out of executive session.
We take a resolution for that.
Okay? No, I
Yes,
said we are
second.
out of executive session and we are back into our regular board meeting. Correct?
Yes, Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan.
Here.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We have another additional resolution. It's a resolution to accept the employment agreement of Felton Thomas. If there's no omissions or additions, we had a chance to review this. I think- Go ahead, Brian.
If it pleases the board, I was planning on presenting that next month by a formal resolution. We can certainly do it as a walk-on at this time.
Okay, we could just go ahead and submit it at the next board meeting, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Perfect.
Do we need a motion?
No, we don't need a
No.
motion then.
My apologies. So then I'm trying to get it done super early. So I do apologize. So then we'll submit this for the following board meeting.
Okay.
We do need a motion to return into the
Records
Records Commission.
Let's-
So moved.
Second, we're good. Sorry about that. Brett.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Let me see
Yes.
what that you got there. Yes,
Yeah.
okay. Go ahead, Eric.
So how many records are we?
And
roll
roll call for Records Commission,
Wait,
Ms. Carrion,
Oh, yes, I'm on this too.
Mr. Corrigan,
Yes,
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes,
it's the whole
Ms.
board.
Breyer.
Yes.
It's technically the whole-
Yes.
And Ms. Krennicki. Thank you. The first order of business is the approval of the minutes of the November 17th, 2002 or 2022 meeting of the Library Records Commission.
So moved.
Second,
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan.
yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
yes,
Ms. Breyer.
Yes.
Ms. Krennicki.
Yes.
And I'll combine items 2 and 3 together for the sake of brevity. Overview of process and records to be disposed. In the past year, we have not disposed of any records outside of the current records retention schedule. As we discussed during the last Records Commission meeting, my colleague Seth Osterman and I are in the process of updating the new records retention schedule to reflect the changes in the organization that had been made in the years since the current record retention schedule was passed. We had hoped to have that in front of you today for approval. But we had to give priority to other pressing matters that have arisen over the past year. We are continuing to work on that and we'll try our very hardest to have that before you within the next year.
thank you.
I would move adoption of items 2 and 3 on the agenda for approval of the records retention acts of 2023, basically.
So moved,
Second.
second,
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan.
Yes,
Ms. Rodriguez.
yes,
Ms. Breyer.
Yes.
And Ms. Krennicki.
thank you,
I would move to adjourn the records commission.
perfect. Thank you, the meeting is adjourned, full board. That was quick for a lot, we did a lot.